There was a terrible influenza epidemic in 1918. My grandfather was never the same, I'm told. It led him to move off the farm, and so my dad came back to the farm, and he farms east of Fairfield on the original family farm.
My father talked to me when I was 16. He said, "My health is gone. I can't pay for the farm. If you want to take over the farm and run it and pay for it, we'll stay here." That was a pretty big undertaking, but I done it. We got the farm paid for. I made a lot of mistakes, but they weren't all mistakes. Thank goodness.
As far back as I can remember, my family's lived in Jefferson County. My grandfather farmed east of Fairfield for a while, and by the time he was 45, he had recovered from the Depression, paid for the farm, and started selling it off to the boys. All my uncles farmed at one time, and all their sons farmed at one time, and I'm the last one.
My father was a corn husker. He was a champion in Jefferson County, and he always said, if you can't keep an ear of corn in the air at all times, you're never going to win. And he could really keep an ear of corn in the air. I never had any ambition other than to be on the farm. So he said, you start off right here. And my wages at that time was $130 a month. And you think back now, how did you make it? But fuel was 25 cents a gallon, and there wasn't the expenses.
And into World War II, things were pretty short. I'm sure people in town were short of food. But we lived on a farm. We had chickens. They laid eggs, or we ate the chicken. We had pigs. Dad would butcher 4, 5, 6 pigs of a fall. We had a big garden. We were never hungry. The farmer was never hungry.
I always had chickens and a big garden. We had cabbage and tomatoes and onions and lettuce. Did a lot of canning. My husband loved sauerkraut, so I had 50 quart of sauerkraut one year.
The rural America families would survive better than somebody in town because they've done it all for a while. Got more opportunities to make it work for them.
Grandma had over an acre of garden and butchering chickens, and how hard they had to work.
We were self-sufficient. We had milk, we had eggs, she made bread, maybe sugar and flour. That's about the only thing she bought in town.
Everybody had livestock. I mean, you couldn't find a farm that didn't have livestock. Now you got to really look some places to find livestock.
I love livestock. I've never raised an ear of corn to feed, but I have bought thousands of bushels. I've fed hogs, cattle, and sheep. Made a little money, just kept on until eventually I got as high as 700 hogs.
Grandpa always farmed the old-fashioned way, always had a crop of hay and then corn and then rotate, and always had chickens and some milk cows. Take the milk and separate the cream and milk, take it into the store in there at Stockport. A lot of times either get cash or trade it for groceries. Grandma would use the egg money to kind of help buy some miscellaneous shoes and maybe a few things.
Oh yeah, I remember my grandmother on my mom's side. I used to stay there a lot when I was a child, and I'd gather eggs, and I'd go out and catch 2 or 3 chickens on Saturday afternoon so we could have them for Sunday dinner and chop their heads off and dress them, you know, and scald them and churn butter and carry the milk up and separate it, and then you have real cream on your oatmeal in the morning. And, yeah, the good old days.
This is a handwritten lease agreement from when my grandparents sold the farm to my parents. And it's not even signed, but I can tell it's my grandmother's writing in pencil. One thing especially of interest is, for interest, we may get some eggs from time to time.
In the 1950s, I grew up on a small farm. It was very diversified. We had, cows and sheep and pigs and chickens and big garden. And so we basically had almost all the food for the family just from those parts of the farm, and sold any excess. But over time, everything kind of fell away until it was all just a dairy farm. And so things became more specialized, I think, and in my experience, that was what happened. And so we became less food self-sufficient, buying more from the grocery store and selling specialty products off the farm. Now, is that good or bad? It's just the way it went.